Let's move on. Dabby Cab. Next bowl game that we're going to cover is the GameAbove Sports Bowl, Pitt Toledo. Now, this is an interesting one. Pitt, of course, started the year great ATS. They lost 4 of their last 5 against the spread and by margins, and they lost them straight up. And then Toledo also lost 4 out of their last 5 ATS, all by margins. Overall, they were crappy ATS as well. So 2 teams that closed the year significantly overvalued. Big issue here is Holstein, the quarterback for Pitt. Is he going to play? I'm pretty sure that he is. I was digging around. I have written my notes that Holstein is going to play. I don't know if anyone has any deeper information on that, but I'm assuming that he is going to play.
And I have something in front of me that says unclear, but I don't know. I mean, maybe you have more recent information.
I believe I'm reading between the tea leaves, and I think he is going to play. When I first looked at this game a while ago, I thought Toledo was a good play to keep it tight, and the Pitt's head might not be in it. So I actually did bet Toledo pretty significantly at the opening lines. It now has moved in Toledo's favor, but I took it all back. Going, as we get closer to kickoff, I'm liking Pitt more and more. They earlier in the season they were ranked, and they were, the people were talking about them for the college football playoffs. And then they had a bunch of injuries in November that really held them down. And this rest should help them a lot, I think. And overall, they're just a better team than Toledo, of course. And they should be motivated here, I think. And so at first, I liked Toledo. Now I'm liking Pittsburgh. I hedged out of all my bets, my early bets on Toledo. Thankfully, the line moved in my favor. The Pitt has an elite defensive line that should dominate Toledo. And I think, I would also be leaning under here. But mostly I'm looking at Toledo at Pitt to definitely win, probably cover. If Toledo's up at the half, I'll be looking at Pitt second half. But I'm just liking Pitt in general at anything -7 or better. What do you think, Dabby Cab? Anything?
Well, I feel like a dick when I say I don't have a ton of thoughts, and then
No, that's okay.
Give opposite thoughts here. But this Pitt team, from what I'm looking, we got you got 16 Panthers that are going to be out in this game due to injury or transfer.
Right. Yes.
I mean, God, that's almost a lot. I mean, Tulane only had 20 players when they played Army. I'm just kidding, but that's what it looked like. I mean, 16 people is a bunch. And then this is one of those things where, and then on the other side, Toledo's going to be out only 4 players. This is one of those things where it's just like, does Pitt care? Are the people that are stepping up and playing for these 16 people, are they freshmen that are looking to take the spot next year? Or are they people who have been in the program that suck, that are just kind of there, as bodies for practice? 16 is a huge number to replace here. That's the only thing I would get at. And is how unpredictable bowls are. Shit, if I had one bet, I would make a small bet on the Toledo money line simply because of the value for the players being out. And this is where, if Toledo's ever going to beat Pitt, this is where it's going to happen. It's not going to happen in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, you said something that hints at something that is very important. The more uncertainty, the more value there is on big dog lines. And
didn't this open at 9 when you got in on Toledo?
Yeah. Yes. But I took it all back at 7 though. I think you're right. If Toledo wins outright, will not be a shock at all. But my initial bets on Toledo were based on how many players Pitt was losing, and that Toledo would probably be good enough to hang tight. But now, looking at it more, I'm liking Pitt more and more. And if the quarterback is back, and they had they do have a lot of guys out, but they also have a lot of guys in, and I think injuries, downgraded them significantly. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We used to say like 5 people being out was a lot. 16 is hard for me to wrap that's a whole new team. You're going out for your first game of the season with a whole new team, basically.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. I think that Pittsburgh's big strength is one of their big strengths, their defensive line. Those guys should be in from what I'm seeing. And the Toledo offense was particularly, bad on their offensive line. I think it's a big mismatch in favor of Pittsburgh. And then if the quarterback Holstein's back for Pittsburgh, I do think they'll have enough, of a talent edge and a motivational edge to probably be. Again, I bet Toledo early. That was one of my, I had like a bunch of early picks that I liked roughly equally, and that was one of them. I took Toledo. but I'm off it now. I'm not going to give Pittsburgh as an official play right now. But if I didn't have any positions and you gave me a free play, I probably would throw it on Pittsburgh. Let's see what people are saying here. Nunya says Toledo has athletes, Pitt has dogs. And here you go. Justin McKelvey. I live in Pittsburgh. Promise these boys care, and so do the coaches. Yeah, reading between the tea leaves, reading the all the press that I was reading. That was the sense that I got. I got the sense that that because of injuries, they were maybe the overall read on them is a little bit undervalued right now, and so it scared me off. It's the only early bet that I made that I flipped on, and so I'll lose a little if I don't get a middle, but if I get a middle, I'll hit it all. Action Jackson leading Pittsburgh -6.5. Dougie Wise, thing that concerns me is Toledo will definitely be up for this game. Will Pitt? I think they will, again, based on what I've been reading, especially if that quarterback is back from injury. Because Pittsburgh had an underwhelming year. And, in general, you know about college sports, Dabby Cab. If there's a team that had an underwhelming year because they just had bad character, then I like to fade them in the postseason. But if they had an underwhelming year that was in large part due to injuries, then I like to bet on them in the postseason. And there was one March Madness year where that was the exact situation with Louisville in college basketball. And
here's the puppy.
Sorry?
Here's the puppy that I got. The chat wanted to see her.
Very
baby.
cool, man.
She's a little scared.
All right. That is way more important than sports betting wins and losses. Now looking at it.
Right. Well, other than the fact that we got to win so she can eat, Pete. That's it.
Yeah, you got to win.
Guys don't want that dog to. If you guys love that dog, if it's cute, you better hope I win so it can get some kibbles and bits.
She'll be all right. Dogs know how to feed themselves. It's humans who don't know how to feed themselves. Dogs, they all fucking figure out a way. All right. Action Jackson leans Pittsburgh -6.5. I do as well. Again, strong edge in the trenches for Pittsburgh. Toledo easily could win outright. So that's it. That's it for that game. No official play for me, though. All right, let's move on.